Imagine a city bathed in gold, the jewel of a global empire. This is Lisbon in the mid-17th century, a city not just on the map, but at the very center of the world. As the sun rises over the Tagus River, its light catches the sails of countless ships returning from faraway lands. This isn't just a harbor. It's the beating heart of Portugal's vast colonial empire. From Brazil, ships arrive laden with gold, so much gold that it lines the churches and palaces. From the east, they bring the scent of spices, cinnamon, cloves, and pepper aromas that fill the air and speak of immense wealth and power. Every sunrise here isn't just a new day. It's a fresh arrival of fortune, a testament to a city at its absolute zenith. Wander away from the bustling port and you find yourself in the labyrinthine streets of old Lisbon. The city is a vibrant tapestry of life. Narrow cobblestone alleys wind between tall houses adorned with beautiful blue and white tiles are the famous azaleas. The sounds of the city are a symphony of activity, vendors shouting their wares, the chatter of women bargaining at the market, children's laughter echoing off the ancient walls. This is a city of saints and sailors, of merchants and mystics. It's a place where the sacred and the profane live side by side, where grandeur is found not just in palaces, but in the everyday life of its people. Every corner turned reveals a new scene, a new story, a slice of life in one of Europe's most prosperous capitals. At the heart of the splendor stands the Ribeira Palace, a magnificent testament to royal power and imperial wealth. Imagine stepping into its grand hall. Your eyes are immediately drawn upwards to the colossal golden chandeliers, glittering like captured stars, casting a warm, shimmering light across the room. Polished marble floors reflect the opulence that surrounds you. This is the domain of King Joseph I. Here, he walks among his nobles, their silks and velvets rustling, their conversations a low hum of courtly intrigue and politics. The palace isn't just a residence. It's the command center of an empire, a stage where the destiny of nations is decided amidst unparalleled luxury. The very air seems thick with power, ambition, and the quiet confidence of a kingdom that believes its glory is eternal. But wealth and power were not the only pillars of Lisbon society. Faith was woven into the very fabric of the city. On any given holy day, the streets were transformed for a solemn religious procession. Picture a river of people moving slowly through the city. At its head, priests in ornate vestments swing censers, releasing clouds of fragrant incense that mingle with the salty air. They are followed by devout believers, a sea of faces etched with piety and reverence. As the procession passes, crowds of onlookers fall to their knees on the cobblestones, heads bowed in prayer. These ceremonies were a powerful public display of devotion, a reminder that for all its worldly riches, Lisbon saw itself as a profoundly Catholic city, its destiny guided not just by its king, but by God. This deep-seated faith was the bedrock of their identity, a source of comfort and certainty in an uncertain world. And then on the morning of November E3, 1755, All Saints' Day, that certainty was shattered. The ground began to tremble. It started as a low rumble, but quickly grew into a violent, terrifying roar. This was no ordinary tremor. This was the earth itself tearing apart. The city, filled with worshippers in its many churches, was thrown into chaos. Buildings that had stood for centuries swayed like reeds in a storm before crumbling into mountains of rubble. The magnificent churches, packed with people, became tombs. Dust and screams filled the air as the ground shook for minutes that felt like an eternity. People ran in blind panic, the familiar streets of their city turning into a death trap before their very eyes. In less than 10 minutes, the golden city of Lisbon was reduced to a ruin. Just as the survivors began to emerge from the rubble, dazed and bleeding, a new horror appeared on the horizon. The sea, which had been the source of Lisbon's wealth, was now its executioner. The water of the Tagus estuary receded dramatically, exposing the riverbed, before returning with unimaginable fury. A monstrous tsunami, a wall of water perhaps 20 meters high, loomed over the waterfront. It crashed into the city with the force of 1,000 battering rams, sweeping away everything in its path. Ships anchored in the harbor were tossed about like toys, smashed against the shore or against each other. The waves surged through the newly ruined streets of the lower town, drowning thousands who had sought refuge in the open. Squared near the river, the earthquake had broken the city. The tsunami came to wash it away. What the earthquake and tsunami did not destroy, fire consumed. Candles lit for All Saints' Day and the collapsed churches and homes ignited massive fires that raged for days. Lisbon became a vision of hell on earth. The smoke blotted out the sun, and the once golden city was now a smoldering, blackened wasteland. The disaster was total, a cataclysm of biblical proportions. It claimed tens of thousands of lives and wiped out centuries of art, architecture, and history. The richest city in Europe had been annihilated in a matter of hours. The news sent shockwaves across the continent, prompting profound questions about faith, nature, and the designs of God. How could such a thing happen to such a devout and prosperous city on one of the holiest days of the year? But from the ashes of this unparalleled disaster, a new Lisbon and a new way of thinking would rise. The man who spearheaded this recovery was the king's chief minister, the Marquis of Pombal. He was a man of the Enlightenment, pragmatic, decisive, and sentimental. His famous response to the chaos was simple and direct: bury the dead and heal the living. Pombal seized the opportunity not just to rebuild, but to completely redesign the heart of the city. He rejected the old, chaotic medieval layout. Instead, he envisioned a modern, rational city. The basic district, the lower town that was completely flattened, was rebuilt on a revolutionary grid plan. Wide, airy streets and elegant, uniform squares replaced the narrow, winding alleys of the past. The new buildings were also a marvel of engineering. Pombal enlisted architects and engineers to design the world's first earthquake-resistant structures. They developed a flexible wooden framework known as the Pombaline cage, designed to withstand seismic shocks. Models of these designs were tested by having troops march around them to simulate tremors. This was a city being reborn not just through grit and determination, but through science and reason. It was a radical shift, a move away from relying solely on faith and towards trusting in human ingenuity. Lisbon was becoming a laboratory for the ideas of the Enlightenment, a city built for the future. The rebuilding of Lisbon was more than just a construction project. It was the birth of a modern metropolis and a symbol of human resilience. As the new city took shape, rising from the dust and rubble, it embodied a new spirit of optimism and progress. The sunrise over the basic district was no longer just about the arrival of gold and spices, but about the dawn of a new era, an era where humanity, faced with the worst that nature could throw at it, did not despair. Instead, it learned, adapted, and built something stronger, safer, and more rational. The story of the Ichiwu earthquake is a tragic tale of destruction, but it is also an inspiring saga of rebirth, a powerful testament to the unbreakable spirit of the city and its people. Lisbon, the city that was almost erased, rose again, forever changed, and in doing so, helped to shape the modern world. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this one.